You know, for any couple trying to conceive, you hear all the time that timing is everything. But what if I told you there's a secret, a hidden golden hour for conception that almost nobody talks about? Is that even a real thing? Well, let's find out. So, the big question, morning versus night. And look, this isn't just some old wives' tale or, a matter of what you prefer. This is a question that science can actually answer. We're going to follow the clues. We're talking data, hormones, our body's own natural clock to solve this really personal mystery together. All right, our first clue starts with a really simple fact. Your body, it runs on an internal clock. Think about it, right? It affects your energy, when you get hungry, when you get sleepy. And, yep, it absolutely affects your fertility. And this isn't just a one-sided thing. Both male and female bodies are on this distinct daily cycle. And that leads us straight to our first big piece of hard evidence, testosterone. This is the primary male fertility hormone, and its levels, they're not flat all day. Not even close. Studies actually show it hits an absolute peak, like a real spike, early in the morning, usually between 6 and 9 a.m. And this surge, it's doing way more than just increasing desire. It's getting the entire system ready to go. Okay, so a hormone boost is great and all, but what does that actually mean for the quality of the sperm itself? The stuff you can actually measure? This is where we go from theory to straight-up proof. Let's look at what the clinical studies found when they put morning and night samples head-to-head. So the way they set up these studies was pretty simple, but really smart. They took samples collected first thing in the morning, after a full night of rest and repair, and they compared them against samples from the evening after a whole day of stress and just life. And the difference? Whoa, it was seriously striking. So get this, the results were huge. On average, the morning samples had over 4 million more sperm. I mean, just let that sink in. That difference in concentration alone gives you a massive potential advantage right out of the gate. But it's not just about having more soldiers, right? It's about how well they can march. We're talking about sperm motility, which is basically just a fancy way of saying how well the sperm can swim. And that is so important. Across the board, studies show motility is way higher in the morning. We're talking up to a 15% boost in some cases. That's a big deal. Okay, this might be the most crucial point of all. Beyond the numbers and the swimming ability, the basic health of the sperm is just plain better in the morning. The morning samples consistently showed less DNA damage or fragmentation. And having healthy, intact DNA, well, that's absolutely non-negotiable for a successful pregnancy to even have a chance. All right, the evidence seems pretty clear, right? The morning definitely has a huge advantage. But why? I mean, what is this magical thing that happens while we're sleeping that creates this golden hour? Well, the answer goes a lot deeper than just one hormone. So it really all boils down to this daily battle that's happening inside our bodies. It's the battle between sleep and stress. And believe me, it has a direct, day-in, day-out impact on sperm health. Let me introduce you to the two main characters in this drama. First, you've got cortisol. That's the stress hormone. As your day goes on, it builds up and up. And at high levels, it's actually toxic and can damage sperm. But then, at night, when you're in a deep sleep, the hero arrives, melatonin. And it's not just for making you sleepy. It's a powerhouse antioxidant that goes to work repairing and protecting that precious sperm DNA. Just think about a normal day for a second. You've got work stress, maybe emotional stress, even physical things like body heat, a warm laptop on your lap, tight clothes. All of it adds up to what scientists call oxidative stress. That damage just accumulates all day long. So a good night's sleep? It's not just rest, it's literally your body's nightly reset button. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. What about night shift workers? And that's a fantastic question. The great news is the principle is exactly the same. The magic isn't tied to 7 a.m. on the clock. It's tied to the period right after your main deep sleep. So if you work nights and sleep during the day, your golden hour just shifts. It's after your rest, whenever that happens to be. Okay, so we've seen the evidence, we understand the why behind it all, so let's get down to brass tacks. How do we take all this powerful information and turn it into a simple, easy-to-follow action plan? Here it is, a simple 4-step plan to help you work with your body's natural rhythm, not against it. First things first, you've got to prioritize getting 7 to 8 hours of good, deep sleep. That's non-negotiable. That's when the body does its detox and repair work. Step 2,
Plan for intimacy in the morning when you can take advantage of all those peak hormones and that super high quality sperm. And of course, you're also taking advantage of a refreshed, positive emotional connection. It all works together. Look, the journey to conception is so different for every couple, but understanding the science of your own body's daily clock, that gives you a powerful new tool in your toolkit. All the evidence points to this. Aligning your efforts with your body's natural peak state could really truly make all the difference. So the only question left is, are you ready to start working with your body's natural rhythm?